Resilience is an incredible ability that helps us recover from the emotional impact we experience when we are going through difficult situations in our lives. By developing resilience, you will be able to take an emotional blow. Even though you might fall, you will have the ability to get up and continue moving forward. In this video, I will share with you 4 strategies that you must start applying from now on to increase your resilience so you can become stronger and achieve emotional health. First, it's important to remind you that resilience is not an inherent ability that we are born with. To develop resilience, it takes commitment and determination. Mental strength is not developed in a couple of days, rather than a growth process that can take multiple years to nourish. Think of it as a battle where every day you decide to continue strengthening yourself. So let's get started. The first strategy to build your resilience is acknowledge and remember. First, you must take a good look at yourself in the mirror, metaphorically speaking, and consciously acknowledge what worries you the most. Be honest with yourself. Reflect on the worst adversities you have faced and own them. No matter how small or big they were, any difficulty is valid as long as it caused you stress and hardships at any particular moment in your life. This process might be uncomfortable because we rarely want to reflect on situations that have caused us pain. Despite the emotional discomfort you may feel, seek the strength and confidence to face negative situations. As you go through this path, you will realize that most of these adversities were overcome in some way or another. Therefore, you will notice that you have already exercised resilience at some point. Acknowledge that you have survived all these obstacles in your life. They did not destroy you. In other words, you have always summoned the strength to overcome the difficulties that have challenged you. All those experiences have made you stronger without you realizing it. By reflecting on past difficulties, you will realize that you have learned and grown. Now is the time to consciously own all the benefits that overcoming adversities can have in your life. The goal of this first step is to help you build your confidence by realizing that you have already acted with resilience before in your life, and therefore, you can appreciate the benefits that resilience gives to you. This must be the foundation for your mental transformation, acknowledging that bad experiences have the potential to feed and impulse your personal growth. The second strategy to build your resilience is know yourself and act. If you want to be a resilient person, you must identify and own your strengths. Each person is unique, and despite what some may think, we all have a personal set of strengths that are linked to our personality. It's important that you understand your strengths and define the tools that you have at your disposal. Maybe you are curious, maybe you are intelligent, maybe you're observant, or maybe you like to help others. Regardless of your strengths, it's important that 1. You identify them, 2. You learn how to use them, and 3. Keep developing and perfecting them over time. Once you have identified and owned your strengths, it's time for action. We can basically separate people into 2 groups, those who complain and those who solve. On one hand, we have the people who see themselves as the victim. Usually, they only like to point out what is wrong, what does not work, and what they don't like. But to be resilient, you must become the second type, the kind that seeks for solutions, looks on how to improve his personal situation, that of his family, and even that of his community. It cannot be denied. Life is complicated, but it's the time to start looking for solutions. Through a deep understanding of your strengths, analyze what situations in your life you can improve and dedicate yourself to solving them. By getting into this mindset, you will be able to experience a lifestyle extremely different from the conventional one. Your character will be strengthened when you realize that in your hands, you have the ability to solve whatever obstacles dare to face you. The third strategy to build your resilience is share and choose. One of the most important elements that can get you out of a catastrophe is your current environment. People who are surrounded by a group of friends or family who support them will have a greater chance of overcoming adversity. Resilient people have the humility to admit that they need other people to seek solutions and solve problems. It's important that you invest your time in getting to know more people, strengthening your existing relationships, and nurturing those who involve the most important people in your life. Pride can cloud your judgment and make you think that you do not need anyone and that you're better alone. Beware of this trap and motivate yourself to create support groups that will help you move forward. Despite this, it's key that you also develop the ability to choose your relationships. Do not feel the need to nurture every relationship in your life. You must choose what kind of people you want to surround yourself with. Remember that human relationships are based on trust, So seek out people who listen to you and who honestly want the best for you. This means some people will be comfortable with just having two great relationships who they can trust their lives with, and others will find it better to create a big community of friends. It's up to you, and it depends on what you are looking for. What I want you to take from this is that you must go out into the world and build deep relationships where you both receive and give value to each other, where you can learn but also teach, and where you can share your concerns but also listen to someone else's. The fourth strategy to build your resilience is release and trust. Most of the time, what really damages us from a hardship in our lives is not the act itself, but the negative aftershock it leaves on our minds. Often, something bad happens to us, and although the event is over, we keep coming back to it and thinking, what could we have done differently to avoid it? We are constantly recycling our negative thoughts because we feel that deep down, the more we think about it and overanalyze it, the easier it will be to find the answer or solution to the problem. However, if your mind is not focused and calibrated to find a solution, you will only end up torturing yourself by thinking repeatedly about what went wrong in the past, what is failing in the present, and what might go wrong in the future. If you are going through this toxic cycle, it's time to go back and apply strategy number 2, know yourself and act. However, if there is a problem that is completely out of your control, you must learn to let it go. There are some useful activities that can help you in this situation. You could read a book, watch a movie, or exercise. It's up to you to find some recreational activity that helps you release the mental tension that you might have accumulated and allow you to recharge your batteries. You may not be able to solve the problem immediately, but you can protect yourself from being overwhelmed by your thoughts. Being a resilient person means you must know when to act, but also when to rest. Relaxation and distraction are not bad when used properly. The problem arises when you neglect yourself and allow distractions to take control of your life. Anxiety arises when there is something important you have to do, but you decide to procrastinate with the intention of ignoring the conflict. Therefore, identify when to move forward and when to rest. Finally, it's very important to trust yourself. Self-confidence is one of the most important skills you can cultivate. People who are going through great difficulties learn to summon their strength. Do not be afraid of new obstacles that challenge you in your life. Repeating into a comfort zone will not allow you to explore the adventures that are awaiting out there, and therefore, you will never be able to develop true strength. Throughout this process, you will learn how to deal with life's adversities. And do not forget that each negative experience you encounter will allow you to grow and strengthen yourself. Do not be afraid of the future, because if you do, you are limiting your growth. On the opposite, by welcoming difficulties, you are adopting a mental attitude of continuous improvement, where you know that every day is an opportunity to exercise and strengthen your mind. Before we go, let me remind you of the 4 strategies to nurture your resilience and be stronger emotionally. Number 1, recognize and remember. Consciously acknowledge what worries you the most and look into your past. You will realize that you have been through similar situations and that in one way or another you have overcome them. The second is know yourself and act. Identify and own your strengths and abilities. Recognize that you can use them as your main tool when facing any obstacle or adversity. The third is share and choose. Be smart about who you want to be hanging with. Create deeper relationships. Cultivate the ones you already have, and if you desire so, expand your support network. And the fourth is release and trust. Learn to let go of the hardships that are over, and you no longer have the power to do anything about them. Allow yourself to take time and relax, but never forget to keep an eye out for the new challenges that may arise. These 4 strategies will be the tools to boost your resilience and gradually develop a stronger mentality that helps you overcome negative emotions and move forward in your life. Remember, you will encounter some resistance at first. Every transformation requires sacrifice, but now it's up to you to choose. If you're ready to develop your resilience, leave your comment below. Do you consider yourself a resilient person? And if not, do you see the importance of resilience for a healthy mental state? Make the commitment to apply these 4 strategies, and do not forget to come back and share with us how resilience has allowed you to become a stronger version of yourself. Wait, before you continue with your next big project, don't forget to subscribe to Full Insight. If you like our content, please share with a friend or a family member that might benefit. Until next time.